Hello, welcome to today's episode on the Quiet Mind and Soul podcast. My name is Joanna, and I am an introvert empowerment coach, and I would like to talk to you today about some of the limiting beliefs that are keeping us stuck and just really stopping us from living our best life and living a fulfilled life. So if that is something that is interesting to you, keep on listening and let's get this started. So let's say you want to start your own business. You're not too happy with your current situation and you want to have that financial stability and independence, and you really want to do something for yourself and for your the effort that you put in to be recognized as and put back into your business. Let's say that's the case, and you want to start doing that business, and you want to be the business, so you want to have yourself as the brand of the business. But as an introvert, you are afraid to expose yourself. What will people say? What will people think of what you say? And maybe your friends and family, what will they think? Will they think you're crazy, you're just having a midlife crisis or a quarter life crisis, like so often is spoken about? And so what will they say? And if you fail, everyone will see if you fail. That's the one thing we never really think of, if we succeed, right? Because what happens if you succeed? What happens if you create your business and if you have your friends and family that initially are not on board with that idea? Maybe they are cautious, they don't want you to put yourself and your financial security in danger, or they are just being cautious. Or I wouldn't say that it's not because they don't see value in what you say and what you can offer to your audience. I think it's probably just one, a lot of people are not used to change. So um, if it's all the same, it's within their comfort zone, and so they don't need to think too much about it, and it's just comfortable. Um, and obviously, if you're making that change, they have to adjust their behavior and the way they think and the way they act around you. They have to adjust that. So that's the other. And then the other idea is that they are protecting you because they don't want to see you fail, and they want to help you just keep yourself safe and um, protected, basically. But they are mostly thinking about what happens if you fail rather than what happens if you succeed. Because what actually happens? Maybe you help out a lot of people. Maybe your life becomes better, or you have more money that to enable you to do the things that you want. Maybe go on traveling, or buy that thing that you needed and or just wanted, or do that massage that you've always wanted. Maybe your life would be better. I would assume so. So yeah, just start to think what would happen if you are actually succeeding when you succeed, because we are so focused on what happens if we fail that really stops us from taking action, because we think, I'm not good enough. That's a classic. We're not good enough. Good enough to do what? To paint an amazing piece of art? No. To do that, I'm not good enough. Neither do I want to be good enough, because that's not my intention. If it is your intention, I hope that you know at least how to draw. But it's definitely not my intention to be an artist and to have amazing piece of art. So when am I good enough? I'm good enough to help people the best that I know, the best to my abilities, and uh, I'm good enough to be a wife, a girlfriend. I'm good enough to be a daughter, a friend, a good friend that helps the most that I can with everything that I can, is there for my friends. I'm good enough for myself. I'm good enough to understand my flaws, the things that I need to work on, and actually work on them. And for that, you are good enough. So it's just a matter of perspective and what are you good enough to do. And in essence, we are good enough to do everything. Because if I really wanted to paint that amazing piece of art, I would just have to practice, 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 and start, actually. Because if I don't start, I will never know if I'm good enough or not. And then another limiting belief that is really stopping us is I don't have time. Ooh, that's one that I like. Okay, you don't have time. You don't have time to work on yourself. You don't have time to invest in your personal development, in yourself, basically. um oh, I'm very busy, I work 9 to 5, or I have a family that I need to look after. Absolutely. But let me ask you, how many hours, even minutes, hours, I would say, that you spend in front of the TV just watching Netflix, or the amount of time that you spend just scrolling on social media? um what's the so if you sum up everything together, how long do you actually, I wouldn't say waste, but spend on those activities? And sometimes we say, oh, I only have maybe half an hour. It's not going to be enough to work on my business or to work on a certain goal that I have. But it certainly is enough to for you to watch a next episode on Netflix, or scroll a little bit more on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media. For that is enough. And what have you learned in those 30 minutes that maybe you could have spent doing, I wouldn't say all of your business or all of the task that it would take to help you get closer to your goal, but certainly it would help get you one step closer to that goal. But you've decided to watch Netflix or to do some other task that, and let's dive into that. Why are you what is making your brain decide that you really want to um, just sit back and think about nothing? Because I've canceled Netflix, so I don't have Netflix. I don't watch television at all right now. But I used to. I used to spend a lot of time, all of my evenings, watching Netflix and just scrolling on social media and just seeing post after post and reading a lot. I enjoy reading, but even so, I wasn't doing so much. I was watching television more. And why was that? It was because I was just wanting to become numb, because I have some friends that enjoy watching documentaries or very heavy stuff, heavy series, and I call them heavy. Maybe to you they wouldn't be heavy, but I'm really sensitive. So when I'm watching something on Netflix, I enjoy watching something that is making me laugh or is making me not think, basically. And I identify my moments watching television as a trance, because that is exactly what it is. When you're watching television, you're not thinking, you're just existing and watching. But the thing is, when you are in that trance, when you are just there in front of the screen. Whatever they are wanting you to see, they are basically programming your mind. And you have to watch out, obviously, with the things that you watch, because even without you realizing, they are putting some subliminal messages in your brain as you are in that trance. And so I've decided that I want to control the way that I see the world and the way that I gather the information. And I want to choose the information that I want, basically, for myself. And I prefer to go in trance in other ways. Reading is something that it's my mindfulness practice, because I'm there, I'm just reading and reading. And if I'm reading self-help books or other books that might be with a good message, I'm learning something. So I prefer to choose to take my time that way. But going back to the point, we choose to do this, we choose to go on a trance that is out of our control, because we have to control all of our days. So if you're working 9 to 5, you have to control the time that you wake up in the morning, the time that the alarm clock goes off. You have to eat breakfast, get ready in the morning, travel or commute to work, and have to be there for that amount of hours. You have to control everything in your day. You have to go for breaks, drink your coffee so you can continue along the day. And then you come home, you make dinner, and then after dinner, usually you can relax, quote unquote. And you choose to relax doing something that you don't have to think, because you think, oh, okay, so I've been thinking the whole day, and now is just my moment to relax and unwind. But the thing is, if you have a goal and you have a why, that's why it's very important to have a why, a purpose. When you don't have a purpose, you choose to do whatever. So everything that you do, it doesn't really matter, because you're not working towards anything. But if you have a purpose, so if you want to build your business, or if you want to have a certain goal, if you have something in mind that you are working towards, choosing to take that time procrastinating, because that's essentially it. It's a defense mechanism. You are using that as a defense mechanism, just saying, oh no, I'm too tired. Now I don't have time to work on my business. I need to have my mind cleared, and I need to be in this specific state of mind. And so in order to be in that specific state of mind and just relax, I'm going to watch just one episode on Netflix. But then one episode becomes 2 and 3, and when you see, you've watched the whole season. So it's like, what exactly are you hoping? Because if you are hoping to get that state of mind out of the blue, I'm here to tell you, it's not going to happen. It's not. You just create that state of mind before, and when you create that state of mind, you have to be very mindful and really aware of yourself and what you have to do, your purpose, and the steps that take to get to that goal. That's why it's so important to have a plan. So when you have a plan, you know the exact steps that you need to take, and you know, okay, I get home, I eat my dinner, and instead of watching television or doing some other task that is not really going to help me, I will commit to spend a certain chunk of time, so let's say 1 hour per day, working in my business. So if you spend 1 hour per day working in your business per week, that's going to be 7 hours. So that's a full working day that you're gaining just there from working just 1 hour. If you commit to 1 hour in working towards your goal. And that 1 hour, sometimes, what is it, 2 episodes of a small series or one episode. So it's just that time that you decide to work on yourself and work on your growth and work on your future, basically, because it's your goal that you are achieving. And then ask yourself, when you are really procrastinating and not choosing what is going to take you closer to your goal, you can ask yourself if that is something that your future self would be proud of, because most of the times the answer is no. And that would really help you get off the sofa and start doing something towards your goal, because you think, okay, maybe 1 year from now, if I decided to just not do this and do this instead, that is taking me closer to my goal, maybe I can have it in 1 year instead of 2 years, 3 years that it would take me if I were to watch Netflix all night long. And then, so bring that awareness to your emotions and to your decisions. So everything that you're deciding has a reason. And maybe the reason for you to decide to watch Netflix or to do any other task that is not really bringing yourself closer to your goal, you can see if it is out of fear. So if you have that fear and that discomfort from not being successful, because we have two ideas of fear. We have a lot more, but I just, in this episode, I would just like to talk about these two more common ideas of a fear. So it's fear of success and fear of failure, and both of them can happen at the same time. So, and that's why you procrastinate and you overthink, and essentially you do nothing. You just are stuck. And so when you are watching Netflix because you choose not to work on your goal, because you don't want to fail and you don't want people to see that you're failing and that you're trying. Because I don't know why, when we see people trying, we are just not very good with them. Because if you're trying, you're not succeeding, some people might say. But in order to succeed, you have to try. So it's a very, very tricky one. So yeah, you're just sitting on the sofa all night long because you don't want to fail. And you think that if you start and if people see you try, the probability of failing is too much for you to bear. And then another idea is that you are keeping yourself stuck and you are self-sabotaging because you are afraid of success. And what if you blow up and then people see that you're not all that they thought that you are, and that's the imposter syndrome for you, just believing that you are not all that people say about you. You don't really take compliments very well. You don't really believe them, to be honest. You don't believe that people are meaning what they're saying, or they're just being nice. No, they're just being nice. That's not all that I am. No, that's too much. And so you are so afraid of this success because you don't know how to react to when people compliment you or when people praise you. And you are afraid to disappoint them, essentially. And so you decide not to do it because you know there's a very good chance that you can do it if you put your mind to it, and then you do it and you succeed, and then oh my god, everyone is going to find out that you don't really know what you're going to do, what you're talking about. And both of them, like I said, can exist at the same time. So how do you deal with this? How, in fact, do you stop this fear and do the thing and work towards your goal? You first embrace. So first you recognize that you have that fear. That is a very good first step. You recognize and you drill down to your fear. Because sometimes we say, "Oh, it's fear of, I don't know, I'm just too introverted. I don't really like when people stare at me. I don't like to be the center of attention." When in fact, that is just the surface level. That is just the tip of the iceberg. And then when you drill down, and that drilling is not comfortable, it's not comfortable. So that is why it's very good to have someone that you can trust, or that you know that can help you through this and can guide you through the process. And that's where I come in. So you have that person drilling down with you and holding your hand and helping you along the way and keeping you afloat, so to speak. And you drill down to the root cause of this fear. So yeah, first step, you identify that you are afraid. Second step, you decide and you analyze and you drill down what exactly you're really afraid of. And then, as soon as you know the answer, you start to work on it. So you accept that you have that fear, that it is with you, and courage, like you must know, it's not the absence of fear. It's just to have that fear and do it anyway. And so when you know what that fear is, you can work with it and you can work around it. So you accept the fear and then you make a plan. And you make a plan in order to make it easy for you to follow through with that plan and to make it so that it is enjoyable, because those are some other limiting beliefs that we have, that in order to get to our goal, it has to be very difficult journey. We have to struggle very hard. We have to work very hard. It has to be so difficult, and so much effort that we have to put in, and it has to be very challenging, and it has to be problem after problem, and we have to overcome all of these obstacles. And oh my god, I'm already exhausted just by describing this. And so if you just see problem after problem, you're not going to do anything about it, because you just see the problem. So you're not even starting. And if you shift your mindset and you make it easy, so you make it easy for yourself to just go and take that first step. So you focus on your first step of your plan towards your goal. Okay, so what is one thing that I can do? What is one thing that I can start doing tomorrow, today even, to work towards this goal? Because you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have the whole plan to get to where you want to be. You just need the first step. And then as you accomplish the first step, you gain more courage, more enthusiasm, and more certainty that is the way to go. And you create the second step, and so on. And you achieve the second step, you go to the third step. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And the more enjoyable the journey becomes as well. And that is really my message for you today. So acknowledge and be aware that you have a fear, work, drill down and understand where that fear is coming from and what exactly are you afraid of. And then work with the fear, accept the fear, embrace the fear, and create a plan with the first step at least. What is the first step towards your goal? And if you would like me to be your guide throughout this journey and throughout this drilling down process that can be uncomfortable, and it's nice to have someone that has been through it, that has done it herself. So I have certainly been afraid and still am afraid of a lot of things, and I had a coach to do that drilling down and to hold my hand and be there for me where I needed. And I would like to be that person to you. And if this is something that you are interested in, really working towards your goal and getting someone to guide you through the process and help you go from a place where you are overthinking and doubting yourself too much and believing that you don't have enough knowledge, or you are not enough, or that no one will really pay attention to you, you don't really know how to help people. The fact is that you know. And if you would like to stop this procrastination and the perfectionist tendencies that take you so much time and so much energy, I would love to connect with you, and I would love to hop on a call with you and get to know you and be just face to face with you. So just go to my Instagram at Coach Joana Calado. I'll leave it in the show notes, and you can book a call with me and we'll go from there. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode and if you've taken some good tips from it. And I will see you next time. Bye.